Hey guys, welcome to the crossover pod. My name's Gabe.
I'm Nick.
Let's get into today's video.
Ready? Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Crossover Pod. Today we'll be talking about the breaking news of the Kevin Durant trade, and we'll go on from there. You ready?
All right, ready.
All right.
All right. First impressions. You give your thoughts, and I'll give mine right after.
My first thoughts is I think it was a fair trade, but I think that the Suns are too heavy on the shooting guard position. I think with Jalen Green, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker, it's like they're just too guard dominant to not even have a point guard. They just have shooters who Jalen Green's inconsistent. We all know Brad Beal on our last video, the most overrated player.
Very
So
true.
so it's like I think they could win the trade depending how they flip Jalen Green and who they draft at the 10. I think if they draft the big out of UConn or Duke and if they could flip Green for a good point guard, I think they'll win the trade for their future.
Yeah, I think so too. It's a weird trade because I think KD's kind of like at a point where he's not the old KD, he's not prime KD. So I think the Suns get a good like a haul for him, but I just don't know if the trade really helps the Suns out because I think I saw reports even before this trade was like finalized, um, that the Suns weren't even that interested in Jalen Green, and now that they kind of get him on the team, he's more of a like a shooting guard than he is a point guard. So I
Yeah.
don't know how that's supposed to like fit in with Booker. So unless they just flip Jalen Green at the draft or something, maybe that could be something positive for the Suns to do. But if it's just their future is to keep Green for next season and so on, I don't know if I love it for them. But they do get the picks. They get Dylan Brooks, who's kind of nothing. Um, but I kind of like it for the Rockets though. I think even though KD's not his old self, his prime version, I think he kind of does take them to like a next level if they want to make it, into like a serious contender. I guess that'd be like my thoughts.
I think the Rockets they sold their like future for like a 2-3 window year of being a contending
Yeah.
team because what they missed in the playoffs was like a reliable like bucket getter, which was supposed to be Jalen Green, but they couldn't
Mhm.
even play him in the fourth quarter because he I don't know like he made what two threes in the whole series, like he
Yeah.
couldn't buy a bucket.
Yeah, I think KD's now going to be that like if we need a bucket, we're going to go through him. So I think that does help them. Now he is a little injury prone. He's old, so I get scared when it's like your main focus is going to be going through like a what is he like a 35-year-old dude,
37.
um, 37. Yeah, he's even older. So that gets me a little nervous, but I think he's still a bucket at the end of the day. No matter how old he is, he's a bucket. He can get easy 25 points any given night. Um, but I still think they're some type of move away from what Oklahoma City is, or maybe that's really it. Honestly, OKC is up there, maybe Minnesota. But I think they're
They're
kind of
better
on
than
par now with
Minnesota.
like the Nuggets. I think they're very similar, like talents. But I still think they have a little bit more work to do to catch up to like OKC if they want to contend.
They were already number two seed though without KD, so I think they're better than the Wolves, better than the Nuggets. I think they're just slightly below the Thunder, but as we saw, the Pacers brought the Thunder to 7. So it's like it's not like the Pacers. I mean, it's not like the Thunder aren't beatable. So it's like if
Yeah, yeah. I
KD
think
has
any
one of
night
those like
they can
dud
do
games
it.
in the playoffs where he just goes off, it's like they could beat them.
Yeah, I mean teams have their year. Like we saw with the Pacers. Who knows? Next season the Rockets could go on some type of great run with KD and they could make it to the finals. But they lost to Golden State in the playoffs this year, a team that I thought the Rockets were gonna beat. Um, but they kind of didn't get it done. So maybe KD can get him over that hump. I hope he does. I kind of like what the Rockets are doing. Ime's a great coach, as we saw in his time with Boston. He gets the most out of his guys, and he has a lot of talent in Houston now. With Amen Thompson, who's gonna keep getting better. So I like what they're doing. I just think maybe one or two moves in this either the draft or free agency, just to I don't know, maybe a point guard. I think they need something there. Because who's their point guard now?
Fred,
Oh,
Fred.
Fred Van Fleet. Never mind, never mind. I always forget about Fred Van Fleet.
That's what I'm
Um,
saying. Because they have a vet point, which is great. They have Amen, and if he trains more with Kevin Durant and develops a more consistent, like better jump shot, he's gonna be one of the best two-way players in like 3, 5 years.
yeah, I mean, you have Van Fleet at the one. I'm assuming you're gonna have like
You
Amen Thompson at the two. You have KD at the three.
you have
Sengun's
Jabari
at
at
the
the four.
five, and I guess Jabari's at the four.
I like
Um,
Jabari a lot. I think he has a lot to learn still, which I think getting KD could help him.
yeah, and they have like Tari Eason as well, who's like
Mhm.
a young kid, and
And they
he's been
just
playing really
re-signed
well.
Adams this year.
Yeah, yeah, you got backup center and Steven Adams. So, like I said, I think they're making the right moves to be a contender. I just get worried with Katie's age. That's really it. That's like my only concern.
Yeah.
Um, but he's going to provide a lot for that team. Another veteran guy alongside Van Fleet and Steven Adams too on the bench. So I think they got a right mix of youth and vets to where I could see them going on a good run, like the Pacers and getting out of the West.
Mhm.
Especially with the coaching, like I said before. So
I
now
think
it's just to wait and see.
I think that the Rockets won right now in the future. The Suns could win the trade though. Like I said, they like it's like we said earlier how they didn't want Green, but they see Green as a trade asset because there's no way they could keep him, even with like the money he's making, the money that they have to pay Beal and Booker. So I think they see him more as a trade. So depending how they trade him and who they draft with that 10, I think 5 second round picks that's just useless. I don't know how you feel about second round picks, but 5 seconds. It's like how does Desmond Bain get 4 first and Kevin Durant gets 5 second and a first?
Bro, I'll never ask me how Rudy Gobert goes for like four first and Luka Doncic is like one for like
Yeah,
the trades in the NBA really don't make sense these days. But like we were saying on the Suns side, and we were focusing on the Rockets a lot. I don't hate it for the Suns, like you said. I think flipping Jalen Green, I think that would probably be the best bet for some other team out there looking for a good shooting guard and a young kid with a lot of potential. Um, yeah, and the Suns need a lot of work, a lot of retooling anyway. So I think they're not serious anymore about contending. They need to do something with Beal,
I
force
think
him
the
to
Suns have one of the biggest
retire.
downfalls of making the finals, what, 21 or
Yeah,
2020?
it's the
And
Bucks.
then
Yeah,
they were up 2-0 to then go being dog shit. Like they go back to being not even the playing. How do you go from being a finals team to less than like 3 to 5 years you don't even make the playing?
yeah, it's a downfall for them. And I always like the Suns. I always kind of hope they do well, but and I think Booker's a great talent, but I could see him potentially getting out of the Phoenix. If they're going to go straight rebuild type, and just move on from them.
I think that
But if
the
not,
Suns
the
should trade
second round
Booker,
picks, I
but
think, are just like cherries on top. You can add those to any type of deal, and all the GMs out there, they'll just take it as bait. I don't know why people love second round picks, even though they really don't turn into much.
I think they're just hoping to get the next like Jokic, even though that's like what one in like 1,000.
Yeah, exactly. You'll maybe get a Draymond Green or a Jimmy Butler, or Jokic once every like 6 years or something. You'll get a guy like that, but for the most part, kind of useless. So unless they can involve them with trades and turn Jalen Green a couple of those seconds into something else, I think, like you said, it's early into the offseason. Finals just ended, so there's going to be a lot more to come. So I'm going to wait and see before I really, go hard on Phoenix.
Yeah, before I give my full take on my like prediction for them next year, I really got to see who they draft. If they draft a guard, I think they're like wanting to, be asked because it's like that's one thing that they do not need is another guard. I think they need to target that like big man. So if they're like successful drafting that, because they also lost Aiton, who was their number one pick, what, 4 or 5 years ago, or six now?
Something like that,
So they
like
just
4 years
lost
maybe.
that. And then I think they need to find their new big to pair up with Booker for the pick and roll game.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm not gonna give my predictions on what's gonna happen next season with either team because they're both teams are gonna make a ton of moves. I think right now it's kind of easier to give like a prediction for the Rockets because I guess their starting five is a lot more secure. You can
Yeah.
kind of see what they're doing. I think the Rockets are gonna be probably a top three seed 4 seed at worst. And then Phoenix, I'll have to wait. I'm not gonna.
With
They're gonna
Phoenix,
do the
I
other things.
feel like they could keep Green, but somehow, some way, they need to talk to Beal and trade him because I saw if they do keep Green, there would be one of three guard duos to average 20. It was Booker and
Yeah.
it was Booker and Green, and then Luca, Reeves, Dylan. I'm not Dylan. What's his face from Cleveland? Garland. There's Garland and Mitchell. So it's like if they could somehow move Beal, trade him for like a bag of like Lay's potato chips like in a second round, and
I know
just get
you
off
need to
that
find the
contract.
team with like the most cap space and just like convince them. Like go to Brooklyn, get on your hands and knees and just pray
Yeah,
that they take Bradley Beal. Throw in every pick you got with Bradley Beal so they can take that disgusting contract off the books because as long as Beal's on that team, they're not going to win anything because they
yeah.
have no money to help Booker out.
I feel like they're probably going to trade Green because he's an easier move, but it's just because of Beal's contract and there's no trade clause. That's what makes it the most difficult. It's like even if they find a team somehow willing to trade for Bradley Beal and they think they're good for him, Bradley Beal can simply say, no, I don't want to go there.
Exactly. It's he's like the worst guy in the league right now. Who do you want on your team? Unless you're just like Brooklyn, where you can just afford to suck, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I guess that's my thoughts on the KD stuff. I think a lot more is going to happen in the off season, but I like what the Rockets are doing. I like what they're building towards, and I like that they got an elite scorer who can really help that team because that's really what we saw that was lacking in the playoffs was a dominant score, and KD provides that.
Yeah, I think the Rockets can finally make it to like past the first round, maybe the Western Conference Finals again.
Hmm. I think they
So
can get to the Western Conference Finals.
yeah, I think they just didn't stand a chance with the Warriors because of experience. But now that they have Fred and KD there now, I think they don't like that, and they have youth. So it's like now they have like that perfect mix of youth, dog, and experience.
Yep, I agree.
All right, now we can transition over to what the Tyreese injury. Talk about how tragic that was.
Tragic. I mean, we already kind of dealt with our own tragic loss with Tatum. Kind of broke both of our hearts. Next season's going to be who the hell knows with the Celtics. But yeah, today we're going to talk about Halliburton again. I don't know what's going on with Achilles injuries in the NBA this season. It's been crazy, but I feel bad, man. It's like I thought I was. I mean, I'm still am upset with Tatum, but I think I would have been 20 times more upset if it was in like game 7 of the NBA finals when Tatum did that. I'd feel worse. So I'm feeling for all the Pacers fans out there. They're probably devastated because I think the way he was playing, at least in that first quarter, he was going to have a great game. And who
Bro,
knows what
and,
could have happened.
and halfway through the first quarter, he already had three deep threes. He was gonna go off that
Yeah.
game.
He was cooking. So
And it's like the Pacers were keeping up with the Thunder until like the third quarter. So it's like if they even had, and their main problem was turnovers. If they had Tyrese Halliburton, who's their ball handler, that would have never been a problem for all those fast breaks. So it's
yeah,
like
it's
I think the
devastating
Pacers
injury.
would have won, and it's like who knows if they can have a run like that ever again? Because Tyrese isn't gonna, come back till the following year. He's out for the whole next year. So it's like it's
Yeah,
like
next
months
year
like
for them
that,
is
they
going to
don't
be
happen all the time.
Yeah, and the next season for them is going to be worse than the Celtics. At least we still got Brown and White and Pritchard and these type of guys. Their main dude's going to be what like Nemhard, and I like
Yeah.
Nemhard. I think he's probably going to have a great season now, but they're probably not making the postseason. Maybe the play-in, maybe. Siaka might be their best guy. Um, so yeah, it sucks for Halliburton, man. Just what a generational playoff run from the team. Not only the team, but from him with his game winners, clutch ability. He was just going on a tear. So it sucks that it had to end the way it did. And I think most of the country was rooting for the Pacers.
Mhm.
I think most people are kind of on our side when it comes to the Thunder and how we hate watching SGA play. He's like
Yeah, I don't.
infuriating to watch. It's not fun basketball. So to see him get the MVP, get the trophy, get the championship, it's
It's
man.
like
I
in
wish
the
I
first
wish I had a
quarter,
button
he
to go
already
back
had,
in
I think it was like
time.
6, 8 free throws in the first quarter. Six of those free throws, he flopped or fell by himself, and he gets the foul
Yeah,
call. He's on the floor. It's like the whistle comes 10 seconds later. And the refs, it's
Hmm.
like, they're trying to keep them in the game. Because if
Yeah,
they don't get those free throws, by halftime, they would have been up by an extra 10 points. Then who knows how the game
yeah,
went from there.
yeah, and he was inefficient from the game too. I think his final like shooting splits was horrible. It was like under 40% from the field, like under 30% or something from three.
Yeah.
But like we said in our overrated video, the media glazes him. Everyone glazes him. They love him for whatever reason. And they award him with all this crap that I'm not going to say he's not talented. He's a very talented player, but it's like when you're watching an extremely talented player get away with flopping every single game, and the refs just like
It's just the
kind
fact
of
that now he's in the
encourage it.
category of MVP and Finals MVP. Only what, five people have done that in NBA history? It's like
Yeah,
they're putting that in that category. He's just not in that category. That's what
yeah.
bothers me the most.
I mean, yeah, like I've said to you, like off camera, is like we know OKC is a very small market city. It has great fans, but it's a very small market. There's not a lot going on in Oklahoma City, so I have an opinion that the league is kind of helping, boost stuff going on in that area by, propping up guys like SGA and, giving them whatever they want with calls. So that's kind of my take on it. So, and, it's kind of a win-win for both the league and, SGA. He gets to be this big face, being a star, but at the same time, it's like, it's not basketball. I don't think it's basketball that anyone really wants to watch unless you're just an OKC fan, and you just like to win.
I think no one
Uh,
outside of the state of Oklahoma was rooting for the Thunder.
yeah, it's bad basketball. It's not fun, and I get there's a lot of criticism too. We're Celtics fans, and our style of basketball is just popping up threes. And we're not biased either. Me and you at times have said that's not fun
I
basketball
think
to watch.
that's what made us lose game one and game two, which
Yeah,
I was not a fan of Coach Joe Mazzulla. We have a friend who loves Coach Joe, defended him, and it's like me. It's like that's not right basketball. If you see, we were what 10 of 60, 15 of 60.
like
It
one of the
like
worst
when
in
you're on
NBA
the
history.
shot number 30 and you see it's not going in, drive.
Yeah, it's like you can't just be this one trick pony if you're just shooting threes like the Celtics. So we're gonna fairly criticize them. Um, but yeah, just like back to OKC, it's the same thing. Like I'm gonna be critical of bad basketball when I see it. And watching this dude get to the free throw line every 5 minutes is like not even 5 minutes, probably less than that. It's just not fun to watch. And Brunson's guilty of it too. But I think he makes up for it in other ways. He can score a lot of
Yeah.
other ways than flopping. But for the both of them, both SGA and Brunson are just flop artists, and I think the league needs to implement the rule that they put in, which is like the flopping tech, where it's like we can tell these guys are faking, falling over and getting these light bumps and just flopping on the ground. And the league does not enforce this rule. So I don't understand what the point of having a rule in the books are if you're just not going to apply. Just get rid of it then. Because the whole country, all the NBA fans out there just watch this finals. We're all saying pretty much the same thing. And the refs are the only ones who don't see it. So I don't know. It's not me. It must be I'm crazy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just like the agenda that the NBA has to push of bad refs, controversial calls, have people to like constantly talk about it because it's like there's no way that everybody knows that that's a flop, that's a charge, that's this or that, and the refs don't call it. And it's like there's videos of where the Thunder's literally holding McDaniel's hand going down like you can't be doing that. And the ref is like eyeing him down, like looking straight at it, and he's not calling anything. And then they see
Yeah.
SGA flop. 10 seconds when he's on the floor, they look at him and they call the whistle. It's
Yeah.
just like there's some type of agenda that they're pushing.
Yeah. I don't know. I think another rule needs to just be like implemented. Like if you get hit and you fall to the ground and you're lying on the ground for more than 60 seconds, quincing in pain and blah blah blah, you should be forced to go to the bench and sit out for like 10 minutes. If you're hurt that bad, like you're trying to show everybody, you're gonna go to the bench. You can't just hop up 2 seconds later, full health, shoot your free throws, and then go back forth running. Like
Yeah. This is
no one's buying it besides these refs. And I know the refs aren't this stupid either, so I know they know it's fake.
it's like these
But
refs are
I
human
have a
beings.
feeling Adam Silver is just telling them, hey, You know, we need this. We need this for the city. We need this for the league. It's good for the league if OKC is good. Blah 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 blah. So that's why, yeah, watching these playoffs this year has been difficult. I've like wanted to turn off most of the games because I just get like I'm gonna punch a hole in the wall if I keep watching most of these games.
Yeah, this is why ratings are down. It's like each year, year after year, the calls are getting worse. The play style of basketball, it's like check a three or flop. That's what
Yeah,
basketball is nowadays. That's why ratings are down. Fans are complaining. No one wants to watch it, and that's why they're trying to rig it more with that Luka trade, with Cooper Flag going to the Mavs,
yeah,
with the small market team like the Thunder winning. It's like they're trying to push an agenda, thinking we're stupid that we don't know it to like try to get the ratings back. To get the ratings back, play normal basketball, do normal activities, and fans are gonna start watching again.
yeah. I agree. I think that just the league's gotten soft over the years. There's a reason that ratings have gone down like every single year. The product's not as good as it once was. We just need to go. I'm not saying we need to go back to 80s, 90s style basketball, but it needs to go back a little bit.
I
Even
think if
early.
you go back to even 2016, 2017, there's still lots of threes. They're still driving, but it's a perfect mix. Like
Mhm.
teams are doing the proper style of if the shots are working, they shoot the three. If it's not working, they drive or shoot a mid range. I'm not saying cut out the three. I'm not saying just drive. I'm not saying don't drive. I'm saying I want to balance. Let's read the field. It's not like Joe Mazzulla of the metrics. Oh, we're open shots, good shots. Let's shoot it. No, it's not going in. Don't shoot it.
Yeah, I think what's killed basketball over a lot of these, the last 20 years or so has been the analytics. There's
Yeah,
all this nerdy crap that, oh, if you're in a corner here and then you have to shoot it because it's gonna blah blah blah. Like I'm not some nerd, and that's what no one wants to see. No one cares about the analytics. I don't care what you think in your head is best for the instant moment or whatever. It's not entertaining. And the point about NBA basketball is entertainment. Like it's not about winning basketball anymore. You need to have fans for a league to
yeah.
watch. And if the product sucks and it's not entertaining, then then you're gonna keep losing ratings. So I don't care about what the game is and what's good to win a game. If you're not getting fans to watch, you're losing. They're gonna go watch hockey because hockey's been growing in ratings. They're gonna go watch football. They're gonna get into other things going on at that time. They're gonna keep leaving the NBA. So what's good for the NBA is the entertaining, like the entertainment aspect of it. And I get it. Winning games is important too, and trying to figure out the best way to win games with analytics, sure. But they're putting that at number one, and then the entertainment part at number two. And fine, if you want to keep doing that, the ratings will go down. You'll get into a lockout, and the league's just going to suck.
It's gonna
So,
come to a point where it's like the WNBA is gonna be above the actual like NBA.
yeah, it's like if they want to keep doing it, fine. This basketball football podcast will turn into a straight football podcast because the freaking NBA sucks watching. So
Yeah, I know.
this
I'm
is what
not
you get when you get
gonna
Adam Silver running the league. Adam Silver's a freaking little pencil neck like prick. He needs to leave. And they need to bring someone in with like a brain with entertainment. You can just look at the dude; he looks like a nerd. You know what I mean? No wonder why the freaking product sucks so bad, and it's all analytical because you have a freaking nerd at the top of it. He looks like a freaking alien. Is get rid of that guy. I can't stand Adam Silver. The dude's a weirdo.
We need a like the NBA like commissioner hire someone who cares more about basketball than money. Someone who already has money, someone who cares, that's what we need. Not
Like, bro,
someone
put
who's
Shaq. Make Shaq the damn
yeah, Shaq
commissioner.
could be the perfect guy right there.
Put
Like
him in. He knows what's entertaining. He knows what real basketball is. He's not some nerd. That's like I want to see a good product again. I can't stay. If I just think about it, every game I turn on, I go like at some point in the game I want to turn off because it's boring me.
yeah.
That's a sad reality of it. Like I don't have that when I watch football for the most part. When I watch a football game, I never have a point where like, this isn't like I'm gonna go turn on to something else. But basketball, I find myself doing that more often. Is like, man, like I'm seeing the whistle get blown every 30 seconds for some BS, and it's like, why am I watching this? It's not fun. So they need to do something about it soon. Otherwise, like I said, it's just gonna go downhill.
It's just like the All-Star game. It's like now they're doing world versus US. It's like each year they're trying to do something because the ratings are down. The players don't even care anymore. It's like how are the ratings gonna go up if even the own players don't care no more?
Yeah, the All Star. When was the All Star game like fun for anyone? Like, no
Last
one
time it
cares
was
about the All Star
fun
game.
was that dunk contest against Zach LaVine and
And
Aaron
Aaron
Gordon. What was
Gordon,
that,
exactly. Yeah,
2016? That was the last good All-Star game. It's been what, almost 10 years.
yeah. But look what happens. You have guys like Aaron Gordon, who was in the dunk contest what, like 3 or 4 times. He loses every single one, and now he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to be a part of it anymore,
Yeah.
even though he should be. The dude's nasty. It's like you don't reward the guys who help the sport. It's like I can't stand how the people at the top of the league just run things. It's so unbearable. So I don't know.
I don't know either. I think we just
So
need to start focusing more on football if that's the case, because that's the one sport where we know it. Like, there's no agenda pushing. It's the best football team that's gonna win.
yeah, I mean, besides the Chiefs, I don't see any agenda being played. So yeah, hopefully things in off season in the NBA, provide us a lot of content, some fun stuff to talk about. Because I feel like now the off season is more fun than the regular season. Watching the trades, watching the draft, that's more entertaining now than the actual sport,
I'm
sadly.
looking more forward to this draft class and who gets picked where than the actual finals. It's like
Yeah, exactly.
finals.
Yeah,
I watched the game seven and game one, I think, and that was it. Like I
that
really
was
didn't
it.
care.
I feel like you along with most people did that. So yeah, I guess I'm looking forward to the off season, seeing how things are going to shake up, seeing who's going to get picked. If Cooper Flag is going to go to the Mavs, maybe they trade that pick and bring in another star. Who knows? Because
Hey, Brad Stevens,
I
if you're
think you
watching
have
this, trade Jalen Brown for the number one pick, please.
I know I love Cooper Flag, but I think the Mavericks might go after Drew Holiday.
I want Gafford.
Um,
I think that could help us a lot at the big, especially how we need to get rid of Porzingis after that horrible, godsome, tragic year he had.
yeah, I
I'm
mean,
I'm gonna
I'm never going to
withhold
say anything
myself.
bad
I
about the
know
guy.
he was sick and hurt, but it's like just don't play. It's like he played and he brought down his trade value so much that teams see him as a liability instead of an asset. It's like he hurt us winning and he hurt his trade value.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say anything bad about him. I love the guy, so I'm gonna hold my opinion there. But like I was saying before, I think the Mavericks might make a real run with Drew, and they can have a team with Holiday, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, and potentially Cooper Flag, or if they even move Cooper Flag and bring in like a star, I guess that Mavericks team will be dangerous. So I think there's a lot of things to actually look forward to in the NBA that we're gonna end up talking about. But for now, like we said, just gonna have to keep it moving.
Yes, sir. I think that's all for today, right?
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Thanks for watching today's episode.